jab, uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports.
Yo, shout out to the hottest chat in the MF game. A-Side official. No negotiations needed, period. You already know Big Blunts. Boxing is the first in the building. Salute to your brother. You already know what's good. Shout out to everyone that's en route. And we're going to get down to it in a minute. So, man, hit the like button on your way in. We're gonna speak on multiple topics. We're going to talk about the Avanesyan broken jaw. You know what I'm saying? Debacle, which ended the fight in the fifth. You know what I'm saying? We're going to talk about Crawford dropping a, fresh interview. We're going to talk about a hater that's on YouTube. You know what I'm saying? We're going to address that, we're going to address multiple topics the way it's supposed to go down. Just hold on for a second. Yo, let's get right down to it, man. So first of all, I want to show you a short clip, that basically coincides with the thumbnail. As you're looking at the thumbnail, that's Avanesyan post-fight. He's smiling, he's waving to the crowd. There's nothing going on with him medically for us to be concerned about. You know what I'm saying? The dude is smiling like a Paulie Malignaggi when his jaw was broken. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't look like a Devin Haney when both sides of his face were swollen. This is David Avanesyan after the fight was stopped by the ring doctor, who took it upon himself to enter the ring and deem David Avanesyan unfit to continue. once again, the ring doctor deemed it necessary to stop the fight because he believed from afar that David Avanesyan could not fight. You know what I'm saying? So what are we to believe? Are we going to believe that it was just something out of the blue? You know what I'm saying? That piqued his interest because he was paying so close attention to the fight. You know what I'm saying? Was that it? Or was it something that we're used to in boxing called corruption? The C word that they don't want to talk about. That blends in with the F word, fixed. Was that part of it? I mean, yes, we need to address that because you have people that want to say they keep it real when it comes to boxing and they real enthusiasts, diehard boxing fans and all that. But when it comes to fixed fights, they don't want to talk about it. And then the crazy part about this fight, it didn't have to be fixed because, you know, Bozy had already said they was gonna freaking clean out the 147-pound division. Sean Porter's been on record say the fight never happened. There's people out here that don't have confidence that these two would ever square up inside their four-corner quadrant. There's a lot of people that say that. That's why I had to put the dump truck out there. You know what I'm saying? I had to put the dump truck out there to where they dump that corruption off in a big pile. You know what I'm saying? Because it's still going on, people. This is still going on. Let me show you a video, okay, of David Avanesyan after the fight, and you tell me, what does it look like to you, okay? You tell me what it looks like to you. All right? So that's David Avanesyan in the corner after the fight. And shout out to Fight Hype. This is their video. Once again, shout out to Fight Hype. This is their video. That is the EMT. I'm not sure what they're doing, but David Avanesyan looks to be fine, standing tall, both feet planted on the ground. I'm not sure what's all this freaking nonsense going on, like he's laid out in the ring like when Crawford knocked him out. Was it this much attention when Crawford knocked him out in Omaha? Was it this much attention? Look at that. They're getting the bed. Look, they're getting it ready. He supposedly have a broken jaw. What's going on? Did he have cardiac arrest? Or did he have a broken jaw? What happened? Did a piece of bone fragment? Did it go over the top rope flying and struck somebody in the head and made them dizzy and they fell down and hit their head on the pavement in the process of breaking somebody's ankle, and then they tripped, you know, and fell and hit their head on one of the seats in there and they was bleeding out? Just so happened a little kid was running across eating some popcorn and slipped on the blood? What are we talking about, man? These what are they doing? No, I'm doing like that. Avanesyan is up there looking just fine. What are these guys right here doing? Is there somebody else on the freaking bed? Avanesyan's just standing up there looking off into the distance. They was really trying to set the scene, huh? They was really trying to set the scene to make this look like something extraordinary happened. You know what I'm saying? They was really trying to act like he sent David Avanesyan out on a stretcher. Is this what boxing has come to, man? To prove a point? Because that's why I say boxing, it'll be extremely tough to get this regulated. Because there's so many people that have their paws and fingertips and knuckles and palms, you know what I'm saying, in this sport. You're trying to tell me a fighter who's standing up looks to be okay, all of a sudden they're getting the gurney ready, the stretcher? Don't see anybody walking out. Shout out to Philly Boxing, Wells Fargo Arena. Everybody seems to still be there. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about they standing there and they looking up. You know? Ennis comes over into the corner. You know, show some sportsmanship. This EMT is putting on gloves, yo. Who is about to be carted out? Who? I'm just curious. What happened, man? As you notice, they playing the Undertaker's music in the background, right? His theme music, right? And you know, I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be totally honest with you. When they started taking the stretcher out and everything, I thought Crawford had walked into the building already gloved up. I thought Crawford was somewhere walking down, doing a ring walk, and they was about to get this over with right now. You know what I'm saying? I thought that was it. I thought, real talk, Crawford came in and he was doing the ring walk and they started playing new theme music. That's what I thought, y'all. That's what I thought. Don't blame me. Don't blame me, man. I just thought that had happened. For real, that's what I thought had happened. Let me keep going. They keep on playing the music. I'm gonna fast forward it until he gets out the ring. Okay. Still nothing. Still nothing. I guess they say, hey, welcome to Motel 6. We'll leave the light on. I mean, I guess they had a bed ready for him. You know what I'm saying? I guess this was a Loaded Lux moment when he was battling Calico. He said they handing out beds. I guess they was handing out beds. They thought Avanesyan was gonna get carted off, so they can put that all over the freaking put that all over the headline.
At the end of round number 5, declaring your winner.
There go the ring doctor right there. Let me see who's gonna get on this freaking stretcher.
By TKO.
Okay, let me fast forward it. I want you to see when he gets out the ring.
Ennis.
Right there. Look at Avanesyan. Look at him, y'all. This is Fight Hype's video. Alright. Just want to let them know because people be acting funny. This is Fight Hype's video. Look at David Avanesyan with that smile on his face. You know? I mean, he doesn't look to be in excruciating pain. Does one side of his face look extremely swollen than the other? Not to me. You know, as I'm looking at the right side, look a little swollen, but not too crazy. His eyes is not even freaking swelled up. This is going into the 6th round. Dude looked just fine. He looks just fine. Look what he does next. Look, he raised his mouth. He opened his mouth and said, hey, yeah. He's talking to somebody, probably family, telling them, yeah, they fucked me over. Yeah, I'm good. I see you in the back. No doubt. Yeah, we still going out. Yeah. Oh, make sure the reservations are good. Yeah. I just can't wait to eat that big steak. Oh, my mouth is fine. My jaw's good. Yeah. Seriously. Look at him giving 5s, bro. See, this is what I'm talking about. You know, Avanesyan didn't deserve this. He didn't deserve it. I'm not freaking out here advocating for Avanesyan. He's not one of my favorite fighters, but I'm just telling you from what I see and what it looked like to me. He seems to be okay. He seems to be in good spirits. He seems to be just fine. You feel me? He seems to be just fine to me. You know what I'm saying? This is post-fight. Hardly any freaking scars. I mean, come on, bro. Let's continue to watch this. This look at that. I mean, let's let's just go back a little bit to when he was walking out the ring, man, because I want y'all to see this, so it can be no confusion now.
Ennis.
That took a lot of confidence in this fight. He finally got there in that fifth round with that right hand. What were you looking for towards the end?
What does it look like to y'all? Seriously, what does that look like to you all? Does that look like David Avanesyan was in dire need for medical attention? Does it? Or does it give you the impression that my thumbnail is spot on? You tell me. You tell me. You know I can be creative when I choose to, but you tell me, is my story spot on or not? Is it, just tell me, is my thumbnail spot on or not, man? I didn't see David Avanesyan up there just tripping. I mean, out of control, losing his mind. I didn't see it, y'all. I did not see it. I did not see it. He raised his, look, he even opened his mouth. You know what I'm saying? He even opened his mouth wider to tell somebody, you know, greet somebody or whatever, and then he gave a high five. Doesn't look like his jaw was broken to me. Doesn't look like his jaw was broken to me. Why do they continuously have to take us through this shit? Why didn't they just let it go to the 6th round? And look, if he wasn't fighting Crawford next, he was gonna try to clean up the 147-pound division. All we would have talked about is him cleaning up the 147-pound division, and also the fact that he couldn't stop Avanesyan in 6 rounds. It wouldn't have been that bad, Ennis. It wouldn't have been that bad, man. We wouldn't have talked about it more than a day or two after the 365-day mark. I mean, it's not that bad. It's only a year plus, bro. We talked about Spence Crawford way more than that. This is a fight that they said is 7 years come next year in the making, because Ennis say he's been looking and calling out Crawford for since 2018. 2018. We never knew that he was hunting, stalking Terence Bud Crawford down since way back. That's all I'm saying. This is puzzling to me. Moving on past this, man. You know, I might dip back to it a little bit later. But in Shakur news, the WBC has now officially ordered Shakur Stevenson to defend his WBC lightweight world title versus William Zepeda next. This is the fighter that Shakur said, put me in there with somebody who's on my level and you will see the best of me. I really hope so. I really hope so, because the way they was on you and you have been cussing people out, you have been defending yourself in some cases, and then other cases you have just been out here being a tyrant because, you know, you feel like people coming down on you. You know, you wanted to go at Cam and Mace, and to get the strap, you know, Jay Prince even responded to it. I mean, it's just gotten bad, man. This is where boxing just goes left. It just gets stupid. You know what I'm saying? It gets way stupid when a situation based off a performance, based off some people walking out the arena, based off the general public's perception of what they seen in the fight. It's crazy because they kind of felt the same way in the De Los Santos fight. But at least with this fight, with Artem, you did press the pace. But I guess, you know, it takes a little bit more to satisfy these people. They're not easy to satisfy. Boxing fans are not the easiest fans to satisfy, to sustain their loyalty, and to win them back. Boxing fans are the worst. I've said it before, because you don't know who they are. You don't know who the boxing fans are. You don't know. Like MMA fans, you'll know they're MMA fans, man. You would know. It's a different type of community over there. Boxing fans, we don't know who's the boxing fans, bro. And the sport's been around for quite some time. But he said this is the guy. that should, hey, put me in there with the guy that's on my level, and you're gonna see the best of Shakur. I hope this is indeed the case. I just wanted to put that out there for you. All right. I just wanted to put that out there for you. But also, I wanted to talk about this. Shout out to Blunts. He dropped this in the mailbox. Maxwell asked, he's a blogger, what did he say in English? And somebody from somebody called Tunian Mikhail responded, said he was fine, had no injuries. That kind of blends in and supports, right? That kind of supports what we just seen off the Fight Hype video, right? It supports that because he was opening his mouth and he was talking to somebody. He didn't seem like his jaw was broken. He said he was fine and had no injuries. He said that he wanted to continue, but the doctor thought that his jaw was broken and stopped the fight. And thanks everyone for their support. Okay, so you can take it however you see it, based off the vid that I showed you, right? The Fight Hype video, and also this text. You know what I'm saying? This post of the comment section, and you can take it for what it's worth. You know what I'm saying? I showed you what I showed you. That's what it looked like to me. Let me get over here to the chat right quick. Shout out to Bud Gonna Stop Canelo in the building. Salute to you. What W says, they out here capping, talking about his jaw and ribs was broke. Yeah, man. They had the stretcher on standby, man. Like this dude ribs was falling out and hitting it, bouncing off the canvas and shit. It's almost like they had to bring the goddamn janitor's broom over there. Hey, hurry up, man. Can you sweep these ribs up, please? Hurry up. He's bleeding out. Hurry up, man. We don't want this to get on camera. Man, get out of here. Carlos, what's good? Salute to you, man. I see you in the building. On a Brown on deck. What's good? Bruce Gas Boxing Jackson on deck. Salute to you. Wild Dog Captain Chaos in the building. Salute. What's good with it, brother? Alexander on deck in the building. Salute. I felt it was suspect too. Boost looked like he may have gotten tired in a 12 rounder. I felt like it was suspect too. Boost looks like he may have gotten tired in a 12 rounder. I'm not sure what that means. Being that it didn't even reach the 6th round per se. What do you mean by that? I'm not sure. No broken jaw in that stoppage wasn't warranted. It wasn't warranted. Arnold is being a bit more polite. He's contextualizing himself in a very polite. He's maintaining the core instead of saying that the stoppage wasn't nowhere close, and there was a bunch of bullshit. I get it. People's maintaining the core. I get it. You know what I'm saying? And it's broke. It then fixed it in the same punch. Hey man, you trying to tell me he need another occupation, bro? You trying to tell me that man needs another occupation besides boxing? He's breaking and fixing in the same window? That's unbelievable. They paid the doctor off. I should not make any type of assumption or insinuation. You know what I'm saying? That is a strict allegation. I will have to put allegedly on the front, the middle, and the back of that. I just let my thumbnail do the talking. You know what I'm saying? I just let my thumbnail do the talking because that's all I can do. Look, I gotta put the thumbnail. I gotta let the thumbnail do the talking, y'all. You know what I'm saying? I just gotta let the thumbnail do the talking. You know what I'm saying? That's all. Let it tell a story. Because time you start saying stuff, people cease to desist. Tell him to be quiet. I'm telling you, this is the second coming of Taylor versus Chavez. Dang. You put it up there with Taylor versus Chavez. And you talking about What we talking about? Potentially Crawford, Ennis. I don't think this fight right here was Taylor versus Chavez, because that fight had 2 seconds, and thanks to Richard Steele, he said he didn't know what time was left on the clock, and if he had it to do all over again, he would do the exact same thing, stop the fight, and him stopping it, that 2 seconds absolutely shattered Magic Taylor's boxing career and his life. I don't like using sad, but it's an unfortunate situation for Magic Taylor, man. Unfortunate, bro. Zepeda will make Shakur's offense come about. How else can Shakur keep Zepeda off him? Shakur is gonna let them hands fly. He's gonna have to, man. This is the fight. He said that he needs a fighter on his level to bring the best out of him. I get it. William Zepeda is definitely, on paper and on the big screen, seems to be a good, solid dance partner. This is no excuses. No excuses. I hope both fighters come in healthy. The buzz for this fight should be, elevated. You know what I'm saying? People should be talking about it in a positive light. Whatever Shakur is doing right now, in a retaliatory way to the criticism he's receiving, I don't know how much damage that's going to do to his career. But man, right now he's like damn near the most hated. Nobody's talking about Ryan Garcia's no more. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's talking about Ryan Garcia no more. They're talking about Shakur Stevenson. And look, this is a lot coming from his own people. You know what I'm saying? Real talk. This is coming from the blacks, man. I know Shakur black and Puerto Rican. I already know that. I'm just saying, this is coming from his own people based off, the behavior in which he's responding. And he's a grown man. I don't have the time to get into that shit. I don't. You know what I'm saying? But when William Zepeda is standing across the ring from him, no more talking, no nothing. It's just gonna be a night that you're gonna show everybody that you said you need a fighter that's on your level to bring the best out of you. And William Zepeda is a champion. You get an opportunity to unify your second division. Salute to you. I'm looking forward to it. Eddie Hearn's got got long money. He paid the doctor. He got a nice bonus. Hey man, people saying the doctor was paid that mucho dinero. You know what I'm saying? El Señor. You know what I'm saying? Señor. Muchas gracias. He got that paycheck. The money is cleared. That dude came in there and look. Avanesyan saying, I'm okay. No. The doctor said, no, I see bruise on your face and I'm stopping the fight. No, I'm okay. My jaw's not broken. It's not hurting anything. That's because your adrenaline. You don't know. You don't know yourself. I do. I look, your jaw, adrenaline. And see your jaw hanging off. Your jaw hanging up. Your ribs are all over the canvas, fragments. We have to call forensics in here and collect your bone fragments to put it back together. Man, come on, bro. What is going on with this doctor, man, just taking upon himself to stop the fight? I told you all, boxing will forever show you how the puppet show works. They will always show you the hocus pocus, man. Right in front of your freaking eyes. The third man in the ring, the 3 judges outside the apron, the commission. We don't need to bring in the promotion. Those 3 entities right there will always, always and forever, always and forever, will change the scope of the bout when you least expect it. Referee, judges, commission. Okay? Don't ever say I didn't tell you. Us versus Mexicans, it don't get any better than that. Yeah, man, it comes down to, both fighters making it through fight camp. Now that we have, the confirmation, so to speak, that Shakur Stevenson will be facing William Cepeda. No more talking. You know what I'm saying? It's on. Hey, this is a huge fight. This is a big fight. In my opinion, it might potentially be just a little bit bigger than when he stepped in to face Oscar Valdez. Seriously, it might just be a little bit because of what is following him outside of his Artem fight and all the backlash and ridicule and criticism he received from that fight. Shout out to Nerd 101 on deck, man. What's good? Pick a side. Which side you gonna be on? Hey, man, please don't spam the chat with bets and who. I don't have anything to do with that. For real. Let's keep it on boxing, please. You know what I'm saying? Please don't spam the chat off topic. To Terence Crawford, right? Terence Crawford recently did an interview. Okay, it's good to see Bud back out here on deck in an interview. Real talk. He did an interview recently to talk about his upcoming fight. And us as Crawford fans, those of us who are, we haven't been in a situation where we have been starving to know what was going on with Crawford. You can look at his IG to see that he's been in the lab. He's been in the gym, being consistent, staying fit, staying educated, you know what I'm saying, and living the life, the fighter's lifestyle. But he recently did an interview, and we're gonna take a look at that. We're gonna take a look at that. I had to dress Crawford, and because he's that monster right now. I see in the future that Madrimov may be particular part of the Massacre Part 2. You know what I'm saying? The movie is not always filmed in the same location. But people are saying that, Madrimov is going to be tough. I believe it. He better be. He's going to give Crawford all he can handle. And you have the people that's saying that Crawford's too small for Madrimov. Crawford might put himself in a position to get hit. You know what I'm saying? He's much older. You hear all the talk. You know what I'm saying? When you on the porch in the rocking chair and, smoking on a pipe, you hear all the talk. Sipping on some whiskey. People up here talking that Crawford talk. Oh, he's too small. Madrimov too strong. He's too strong. People are sleeping on Madrimov. People, look, the same song and dance we hear all the time. Fans are going to have their size. Call it sleeping. Call it being awake. It's about to happen in less than 3 weeks. Okay? All right? So the only thing we have to do is be patient. Because if by chance those of you that don't know, it's a hell of a card. It's a hell of a card, yo. Hell of a card going down in California. I wish I could be there. Let's take a look at this interview, okay? Let's take a look at this interview. Let me go over here and take this thumbnail down so we can get right down to it. You're about to see Terence Crawford, the pound for pound best fighter, the Omaha Monster, the fisherman. You know what I'm saying? Bass ain't got shit on him because he caught Moby Dick. You know what I'm saying? He came down to the ring with nets on hanging off his shoulder, nets on his trunks and his shoes. Who does that? And that's after that particular opponent said, when have you seen anybody catch Moby Dick with a hook? Well, Crawford did. Crawford pretty much caught Moby Dick on a hook, filleted him, cooked him, and served him. Let's get to this interview. And this interview is courtesy of Brian Mazik. Okay, let's get it.
A month out. But I want to ask, like, the first question is, can you talk a little bit about what your experience has been like working with Turkey? You're one of the first American fighters to really take that step and be an ambassador with that movement. So can you talk a little bit about what that's been like?
So I wanted to be clear about what Brian just said, right? He said you're one of the first to work with Turki Al-Sheikh. You remember that Crawford had also mentioned that he had a relationship with Warren Buffett. Okay, those of you that follow him, right? And now he's attached to another very wealthy individual in Turki Al-Sheikh that he's known for several years. But the narrative that I keep hearing from inner tube lips is the fact that, you know, Crawford is moving bad, business all bad, and all this other stuff. And I'm saying to myself, how's his business bad when this guy just said you're going to be the first U.S. fighter, you're going to be the ambassador. So if you're the ambassador for this extremely wealthy royalty to be supporting Terence Crawford from Omaha, Nebraska, in his first fight that he's throwing over here, he must be doing something right. Someone must have looked at him and said, I see the good in you, even though others don't. Those haters that's out there, I do. So I'm going to support you. Let's go.
Well, my experience with Turkey has been, you know, a pleasure. You know, everything has been straight down the line. Everything's been good. The conversation's been great. Personality has been great.
And just to let you know, I reached out to this brother about his 4 division. And I just basically told him, I said, it's good you prognosticating 4 divisions. I just wanted to see what he had to say about it. He said, no, it was a mistake. So I'm glad it was a mistake, because that's not good to do, to say 4 division champion and they haven't won it yet. But he said, no, that was a mistake. Okay, just to let y'all know that.
Everything that I've experienced from him and his team and everybody around him has been nothing but respect and looking forward to the future.
For sure. Okay. Now your opponent coming up on August 3rd is Israel Madrimov. So I believe I saw you guys have a meeting where you had an opportunity to see him face to face. Talk a little bit about what you knew about him before all this started to happen, you know, how acquainted you were with him, and kind of what was your first thought when you got a chance to look at him, like, kind of eye to eye?
Well, I knew he was a decorated amateur.
Mm-hmm.
I knew from his previous fight that he was tough, he was big, he was strong. He had good movement and can punch. Our first encounter, it was just all respect, you know.
Crawford said he was good, tough, and strong. You know what I'm saying? He was good, tough, and strong. You know, he gave him a list of compliments. You know, it's better than what some fighters can do. And it's not just because it's a courtesy. I mean, he's doing a courtesy for a foreign fighter. You know what I'm saying? It's just sportsmanship. He say he already knew. He gave the man, you know, his compliments first and foremost. You know, keeping it clean.
I didn't see fit for him to disrespect me. I didn't see fit for me to disrespect him. So it was just all respect from day one.
Yeah.
Speaking of the disrespect, some fighters feel they gotta start disrespecting their opponent just to get to a certain energy. You know what I'm saying? A certain energy to get them mentally right for the fight. Some fighters don't need that. They can just go off, you know, the hard work and blood, sweat, and tears in the gym. And then when it's time to shine under the bright lights, they dance.
Yeah, I noticed, that's one thing I always notice, like, with your fights, generally, you're not the one that goes there first. It's like, if somebody brings that, then you match that energy, but generally you're not the one that goes there first. Why is it that you kind of go that way?
Because, man, I just always felt as if we are doing this for the same reason, and that's to provide for our family and make a way for ourselves in the sport that we also call love. So there's no need to disrespect anyone or talk crazy to people when there's no need. We're gonna fight anyway. That's gonna determine who's the better fighter. So yeah, but when people call themselves want to come in and get under my skin or promote the fight in a way that they feel is better for them to talk crazy, and so be it. Then here we go.
He said, you want to come in there and get on this skin, then so be it. Here we go. I'll match it. You know what I'm saying? I'll raise you too. I'll match it and raise you. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. That's a very positive way to think of it, right? You know what I'm saying? Especially when you're in a combat sport. And also being on the level that Terence Crawford is on, the highest, the elite, the pound for pound, multi-division champion, making history, legacy. You know what I'm saying? The first to be a 2-division undisputed, headed for freaking 4th division. You know what I'm saying? August 3rd against Ismail Madrimov. I mean, yes, he has his focus lens zoomed in and locked.
What does that tell you when you see a fighter do that? Does that always reek, oh, this guy, he ain't really confident? Or what does it say? It's different depending on the person?
No, it's just different personalities. Some people just want to let you know out the gate that, you know, they coming for your head and, you know, they don't care nothing about you and so forth. And some people, you know, they just quiet, cool, calm, and collect and just want to show you come fight time.
Okay. Now, I got to ask because I saw, I can't remember where you were at, but I saw you walking and you were talking about, you mentioned Canelo and how you, at this stage of your career, all the stuff you accomplished, that kind of fight is the type of thing that's interesting to you. How interested are you still in that fight? And if you are, when might we see that happen?
I thought at this point in the interview, I'm gonna be real, that it was it came early at high tide. It came early at high tide. And really, you know, Canelo, the ask about Canelo when Madrimov is in the conversation, 4-division championship, you know, on the quest for freaking 3-division undisputed. You know, I didn't think it should have been injected in there just yet, but you know, it was a great interview, all, you know, anyway. But I'm just saying, like, I knew he was gonna say what he said though.
Well, right now my main focus is on Israel. I'm not thinking about Canelo right at this moment. And after this fight, we maybe can visit that fight. But right now, my main focus is Israel.
Okay. All right. Now, at 154 pounds, obviously it's a whole different challenge for you because most of your career obviously has been lower than that. Do you see this as...
Just to be clear for all the haters out there who's going to see him drinking from a glass, which to them, when they in their quiet time, that would be some type of alcoholic beverage. You know what I'm saying? You know, yes, that wasn't it. That was probably some water. So I know y'all want it to be 1800 tequila or something like that because you're haters. I just want to make this clear that he was probably just sipping on something to get hydrated in between freaking training sessions or whatever case. I just want to put that out there.
As at this point in your life and your career, is this just a way easier space for you to fight in terms of at 154 pounds? Or is it like, hey, I'm up here because I this is where I'm just ascending, looking for new challenges? Or is this an easier space for you to compete in?
I think given the weight, the age, just everything that's surrounding my career, 154 is the best weight for me at this moment. I think I will be stronger. I think even though I'm going up against bigger guys, I just think I'll just be at a place where I can perform better.
So he said at 154, he believes he'll be at a place he can perform better. You know what I'm saying? Of course he's going to feel stronger. You know what I'm saying? That's not 147. Plus he's getting older. You know what I'm saying? I think he's going to look the best he's ever looked, you know, against one of the fights in his career, because it's at the end. You know, it's nearly at the end of his career, on the back end, rather. I would say back end of his career, and he's much older fighter now. So therefore, it's going to be, he's going to feel much more greater not having to lose that pounds to get equal or under 147 pounds. So he's definitely going to feel much stronger. Definitely going to feel, you know what I'm saying? He should feel the difference if he's not overtrained. Definitely walking in there come August 3rd.
Yeah, yeah. I gotta ask you, because I know, you know, I've seen you post some stuff on social media about it, and I've obviously seen you guys together. I gotta ask you about Shakur, because you guys are he's traveling a path, obviously, that you've been on at some point in time. So when you saw Saturday's fight, you saw like some of the things that were happening with the camera, you know, showing the audience and all that. What was your first reaction? Because I saw some fighters, saw Ishe Smith.
Once again, you know, he didn't ask too much about the fight performance. He just want to go to the camera, because the camera is not the entire, you know what I'm saying, scope of why people was criticizing him. The fight had a large percentage of why people was criticizing Shakur. I guess the cherry on top of them making a point that Shakur's fight wasn't all that entertaining, they wanted to bring in the fact that the camera just happened to pan over and a group of people got up and they was leaving. Whether it was pretentious or premeditated or whatever the case may be, we'll never know. But he went straight to the people leaving, and this is what Crawford had to say about it.
Respond to it. I saw some other cats on there respond to it. What was your thought? Being that you've walked this path before, what was your thought when you saw that?
Well, those ain't real supporters.
Mm-hmm.
No, you can't worry about those individuals. You know, it was kind of odd how all those people got up at the same exact time and walked out. So it's kind of seemed to me as if it was planned, you know, but at the same time, who cares? You know, they all paid their money to come and see him fight, and he looked sharp and he won in flying colors, and so be it.
Yeah, yeah. As a guy who is like your guy's fighting style is obviously a little bit different. Every fight is different, but because you know him so well, you've been in the gym with him, you know what kind of talent he is. Does it pain you to watch him kind of, in some ways, be underappreciated and under-recognized, or you look at that as just like, oh, this is just part of the business, all of us have to go through this?
All the greats have been through those type of adversity moments. You know, people talk bad about Floyd Mayweather. People talk bad about me. People talk bad about Ali. People gonna talk bad about the great ones. You know, they want him to be basic. They want him to sit in front.
Y'all heard that? He said they want Shakur to be basic. Some people gonna say, yo, you know, looking at him fight, he's basic. But I know what he's saying. He's saying they want Shakur to be basic to the point where they want to see him take more punishment. They want him to take more risk. But he did make a good point on top of that. You know, the caveat to them wanting Shakur to be basic, what's the repercussions for that too? Being that guy who's taking risks, getting hit all the time just to appease the fans.
In front of a guy and slug it out with him for they can say, oh, that was a great fight. That was a wonderful fight. Shakur Stevenson got his head banged out, but he won the fight. That's what they want. But that's not the name of the game. The name of the game is called boxing for a reason. Hit and not get hit. You know, I think people need.
He said the name of the game is hit and not get hit, y'all. I don't know if y'all forgot that, but it's hit and not get hit. Every fighter has their own style. Every fighter has their own speedometer. Yes. Every fighter's engine is different.
To look up the definition of boxing. You know, you got a lot of people that claim they know boxing and they follow boxing and they got their YouTube channels and they got their podcasts, but they really don't know boxing. Yeah, they watch boxing, but they don't even know what they're watching half of the time. You know, they look at boxing and they say, well, he wasn't fighting. Oh, I want to see a good fight. Oh, I want to see these two guys fight. It's always fighting. But that ain't the name of the game. It's called boxing. Why don't they say, oh, I want to see Tank box Shakur? Because at the end of the day, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a boxing match, not a fighting match. If you want to watch fighting, then there's other things like UFC, they fight. They use their feet. They use, you know, the elbows. They kick you, you know, they do a lot of things, you know. But when we talking about the martial arts of boxing, it's a science to boxing.
So what do y'all think about that? The science of boxing. We always call it the sweet science, but the sweet science deals with martial arts in general. The science of anything is to figure out what the formula is to make it that much better. Whether you're creating something new or you just fine tuning and trying to master something, that is a part of the sweet science. What did y'all think about what he said? There's gonna be some people out here being a little crying little, little crybabies to my, oh, he talked about YouTube. You don't own YouTube. Okay, you don't own YouTube. So if you felt some type of way about him criticizing those of us as not professional fighters, not on his level of boxing, and we are podcasting YouTube, that's your dumbass freaking prerogative. You know what I'm saying? Because there's no way that I'm attaching myself to this like it's paying my pension. Like I served the YouTube. I served for YouTube. You know what I'm saying? I should get a retirement. I get extra health care. No. It's too many people that's just somewhat, they just immersed deeply in social media. So if Crawford criticized a certain community that speak on boxing and he says you don't know what you're watching, you shouldn't get mad because he didn't say your name. He didn't say your name, so you shouldn't get mad. Just chill. But I know it's gonna be some crybabies, some bitches that come out here and start talking to my Crawford talked about YouTube. Oh my God. I mean, look, just like I said, it wasn't no YTBC. You know what I'm saying? It is a YTC, the YouTube community, and that's it. You choose to access this. You choose the amount of time that you spend creating and going out here speaking to your audience. You choose selectively to do that. How much money you make, hey, it depends on you. I hope everybody is doing well. And if you feel that you're doing well on the social media platform, don't get mad what he just said, because it is a lot of criticism that come from the YTC.
And I just want people to, know the definition of boxing.
Have you ever found yourself maybe falling into that in your own career, like fights you had in the past where you kind of caught yourself leaning into that, like the crowd wants me to do this or whatever?
We all do. We all want to be crowd pleasers, because the more you please the crowd, the more your name get recognition, the more that people get to talking about you, and the more your value evolves. But at the same time, look at those fighters that was crowd pleasers and was trying to do everything for the crowd, and
he's dropping some gems. He said, look at those fighters who want to be crowd pleasers. He's dropping some gems. This is not something that's just he's exaggerating. You can look at a lot of fighters that wanted to be crowd pleasers and was willing to take those gloves to the head. And they say the gloves is to protect the fighter's hand, but also those gloves can do damage, especially if they make contact with the other fighter. You know what I'm saying? Going to the body, not so bad. But when you start going to the head, everybody's physical anatomy and their neurological headquarters is wired different. it becomes over a period of time, it can be extremely damaging to the point where you come down with dementia and you get pugilistica.
They lost their life.
Mm-hmm.
Or they got in a bad injury and they couldn't box anymore. Where's all those crowd pleasing people that was cheering those fighters on, and this fighter can't fight no more and that's hospitalized, that nobody comes to see. Nobody's paying for their doctor bills. Nobody is chanting them on anymore. What about those fighters that lost their life, trying to be a crowd pleaser and fight a fight that they shouldn't have fought, but they, listening to the crowd and lost their life? Is the crowd or the people, taking care of their family? Is they sending letters, talking to their family and telling them how great they child was, or anything, or their father or their son? Things like that, us fighters got to think about.
Mm-hmm.
when we in the ring. We not just fighting just the fight. Like, you really can lose your life in the ring. So it's not a game. It's not something that you can say, oh, time out, he hit me in my head and I'm dizzy. People really get battered and hurt in boxing. And then when you see those fighters years after they didn't retired and they couldn't talk a sentence or comprehend anything, or then lost their whole money because bad investments, or they wasn't smart enough to invest their money in anything. Now what? Where's all those crowd pleasing people that was chatting this fighter on once upon a time?
Well, I would say this, dear Terence. I would say this to my response. I disagree with proposing that question to the very same people that you say that don't know what we're looking at. I have to put myself on the front side of the people that you say don't know what they're looking at. That's how I respond to that. The reason why is because the fighter himself knows more than me. The fighter himself is competing in a combat sport. He's the professional, not me. You said yourself that we commenting and we want a fighter to be crowd pleasing. We can't force him or her to be crowd pleasing. Yes, we may want that. Just like Shakur, they may want him to be basic. Basic mean him going in there and taking a little bit more punishment and taking more risk, okay? But it can't be both. It can't be that we don't know much about the sport, right? Because we're not in there taking hits. But on the flip side, we're being blamed for the crowd pleasing. No, the fighter selects on how they want to please the crowd. It's none of our freaking culpability. We don't take no culpability as fans just because we want to chit chatter, and have our own opinion about how we want to see a fighter fight. That's just like purchasing a vehicle. Certain people want a certain vehicle to ride a certain way, so they get a V, whatever it is, to get them to that comfort of speed that they love, that need for speed, so to speak. So I'm just speaking for me there, Terence. I can't hold down both sides and say, okay, I'm responsible for the chit chatter based on my opinion. I'm just talking based off your comment, not anything that you and I have did, right? But I'm just saying, like, I can't be the person who is the podcaster and on YouTube and is criticizing the fighter and don't know what I'm looking at. But on the flip side, where you're asking us, where are the fans who wanted the crowd pleasing fights? Well, we're fans. We can only want. We can't force someone who's actually going to training camp and we're not even on the team. We can't force that fighter. We can't force you. We can't force anybody. If our words don't mean anything because we don't know what we're looking at or what we're watching, then there's no way we can take we can be held liable for that fighter going in there having dementia, pugilistic, or injuring themselves because we want them to fight a certain way. No, we can't do that. We cannot be uninformed or basically be below the educational comprehension of boxing due to us not physically competing at any level, right, of professional fighting. But then on the flip side, you say the fighters, where are the crowd pleasing fans when the fighters can't basically follow through with a full sentence or have a dialogue or be able to communicate and socialize? I get it. It's a tough ass sport. I've seen it. When I started interviewing, I seen it. I heard. I had to get used. You know, being I'm from the South, man, we have some broken English down here. Real talk. Seriously. And at first, when I was out here understanding these fighters, some of these fighters, I'm not going to mention names, and it was tough for me to understand them. I got used to it. And, you know, I understood there is a residual effect to some of these fighters when they leave the sport. Yes, they had slurred speech. Absolutely. Some of them. And there's some fighters who took a lot of punishment in the sport and their speech is just fine. But all I was saying there, Crawford, we can't be both. We can't be held accountable on both sides. You know what I'm saying? We can't be without knowledge, but yet have the power to influence a fighter and say, we want you to be a crowd pleaser. Give us more, give us more, give us more. And that fighter is the one who knows about the sport and not us. It kind of works the opposite. Like, if I don't know about the sport and all I want is a crowd pleasing fighter, then what am I doing? I'm being a fan.
It's in with the old, out with the old, in with the new. Oh, he's washed up. That's what they say. Oh, he's washed up. He's nothing. We on to this guy. So you gotta think about things like that.
Yeah. I want to ask you, is there, I know you were mentioning you're focusing on Majrov, and I 100% understand that, but I got to ask you, is there ever a possibility where you would rematch Errol Spence? Or is he in a position where he needs to win again before that makes sense for you?
The possibility is there.
Mm-hmm.
He's fighting for his title. I'm fighting for a title. And there's the possibility.
He said the possibility is there for him and Errol Spence to fight. He didn't shy away from it. You know what I'm saying? He said the possibility is there. I know there are some remaining casualties that lurk out there in the shade of the freaking fog of war. You know what I'm saying? Suffering from extreme pugilistica due to July 29th, 2023. But he said there's a chance there might be a second one.
You win this fight, God willing. I win my fight, God willing. And there's your possibility right there.
Yeah. All right, man. I appreciate your time for sure, man.
Hey, shout out to Brian, you know what I'm saying, for that interview. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Brian Mazik, if I'm pronouncing your name, Brian Mazik. You know what I'm saying? That was his content. You know what I'm saying? Salute to you. Great interview. And for those of you that tuned in, all I was saying is that, you know, as boxing fans, we hold a certain position. Certain fighters don't respect us. You know what I'm saying? Certain fighters will tell you, okay, you know your shit about boxing because they agree with you on something. But, you know, a lot of times when you disagree with a fighter, they'll tell you don't know shit about boxing because, you know, you have a difference of opinion. I'm not in no way, shape, or form saying this is the case, you know, at all. I keep it straight up. You know, how you expect me, like I don't really mention this, but you know, I did 20 years in the service, man. I'm like, how you expect me to do 20 in the Marine Corps and be a freaking douchebag? You know what I'm saying? Never in a situation where I had to basically be a leader. You know what I'm saying? What does that come from? Real talk. What does it come from? What are you expecting? Real talk. I mean, there are some douchebags in every walk of life, but no, I'm not saying that. I stood on firm Even in the military, when I had to make a sacrifice to stand on what was right. You know what I'm saying? It may not have been appreciated by certain people, but you stand on what you believe in, and then whatever comes with it, you'll get through it. You know what I'm saying? God will be with you on that. But when it comes to boxing, no matter who I support heavy, it's gonna come a time and a place that I may disagree with something. And I'm just saying, like, as a boxing fan, if you put us in that square, you know what I'm saying? If you put us in the square just being a boxing fan, but then you can't turn around and say, well, we're circling the wagon when it comes to fighters that the fans want to be fan-friendly fighters. So we are telling you to go out there and freaking give us more, give us more, give us more. You know what I'm saying? Yes, the fight fans can be considered consumers at the end of the day. But when it comes down to influence, we can't influence y'all to do anything. I mean, you all tell us what you tell us. You either respect us or you don't respect us. We can't force you to do anything, because at the end of the day, it's always that we only know so much about boxing. Or, to the great Roger Mayweather, y'all don't know shit about boxing. That's usually what we get. You don't know shit about boxing. Okay, if I don't know shit about boxing, I definitely shouldn't have the influence for a fighter to say, I'm gonna listen to the fans and be a fan-friendly fighter and go up here and get beat up and take an extra amount of punishment. That's all. That's where I'm at with it. I don't have that influence. It's either I got the power and know about the sport, or I don't. I can't be talking and don't know shit about boxing, but I'm influencing a fighter to go out here and be a fan-friendly fighter and taking too much punishment. Then when the sport has drew the curtains, that fighter has no money. That's not our fault. That fighter's in bad health. That's not our fault. That's because that fighter selected to go in there and fight that type of fight, where they have trainers and teams. They understand what the combat sport is about. They understand what the art is about. For real, they understand. They're training this over and over and over again. They know what it's all about. I don't know what it's all about. I'm not going in training camps, so I'm not speaking to nobody except myself. Like I said again, great interview. Salute to that guy. You know what I'm saying? I salute to everybody who came in the building. And I just wanted to get this also cleared. This guy who made it a point to criticize, the LDBC, right? And the only reason I'm closing with this is because there's some people that was speaking with me when they heard him say that, when my channel shouldn't have even been nowhere a part of anything dealing with the recent events of his channel being demonetized. And I felt like it was a coward way to bring up my, insinuate and take a subliminal shot at me, because I really haven't been thinking about this dude at all. Nothing. I haven't been thinking nothing. And, yes, my channel ended up being demonetized for a video I put up that was his video when he was in Omaha. Okay, so over there in Omaha, I put the video up and it got over 200,000 views, and I got demonetized for it. Okay, he goes on his channel talking about I was lying on him and stuff like that, which that's not true. I spoke to him on the phone and I told him what I told him. I said, I believe you did it. If you're gonna go ahead and say what we talked on the phone, tell him everything. I said, I'm standing on, I believe you had a lot to do with it. It was your video, when nobody else. How somebody else gonna report, that video being out there? I told him what I felt. And he say, that wasn't the case. That wasn't me, this, that, and the other. I said, well, I believe what I believe, and that was it. It's no need to bring me back up now. Especially going through weeks and weeks and weeks of building off the LDBC. Going at the LDB, it comes upon a time where you have to understand that they're going to submit some type of complaint. Even though, people, you're not the only one who've had criticism of them. You chose to make a thumbnail. You chose to wear the t-shirt. You chose to go all in, full throttle, bro. That had nothing to do with me. Had nothing to do with me, bro. I didn't report anything. How can I report anything, bro? I haven't even been watching your channel. For you to bring me up to my, oh, there's the other brother, I ain't talked to the nigga. I'm like, bro, if you haven't talked to me, why are you meshing me together in a situation, your channel being demonetized, and include me into the cloud of smoke? And I didn't even know the shit was going on. I had somebody drop me a link and say, hey, Malachi over there talking about you. I say, what? I mean, been looking, paying attention to any of that stuff. And he's bringing me up because he's demonetized. And I'm like, what does that got to do with me? Now you kind of showing exactly what it was initially. I had nothing to do with it. There's no way that you can insinuate that I turned back around and got you demonetized for what? I mean, what did I report, first of all? You didn't use none of my content. How can I even be a part of this conversation? And I was the one that got demonetized back then. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit don't make no sense. And y'all got to be careful about, you know, these cats trying to trick you out the bag if they know you to give certain people headstones. You know what I'm saying? They would say your channel is small and don't matter, but they pay you so much attention. And you know, some people that was chopping it up with about this. I say, bro, I don't know why that dude just all of a sudden mentioned. I seen him over there with Crawford in Omaha. I didn't say one negative thing. I said, all right, cool. What does that have to do with me though, bro? I can look, if I choose to select a fighter, like I told people about Deontay Wilder, if I select to support a fighter, it is my own doing. If that fighter does not allow me exclusive access, so to speak, ever, anything, then who fault is that? I'm volunteering to support this fighter as the fan. That's all. I'm volunteering to support the fighter. What somebody else do, somebody told me that, you know, this, I say, I don't care how he got over. I don't care if he's over there. Cool. I've been there, done that. I've been blessed to cover plenty. Y'all already know the deal. But I have no problem with him hanging out with Crawford over there, taking pictures. I don't know. I do it because I love boxing. And I love the fighters that's competing in the sport of boxing. But it seems like, you know, certain people, you know, it seems like if you over there and he's no longer a fan, you're no longer a fan, that's family. He's no longer a friend, that's family. Okay, you should be happy. It's almost like Crawford has a fight coming up and now you want to bring me back to the equation like I had something to do with your channel getting taken down. When you, from my understanding, you didn't use any of my content. I don't know who, but I did know, you know, you had the freaking thumbnail up there all the time on the LDBC. That don't have nothing to do with me. So you could have just left my name out of this, bro, and don't try to bring me into this mess that you was a part of. I didn't have on no LDBC killer shirt. I didn't have no thumbnail up every freaking time. I wasn't building up my channel off that. So find somebody else to play with, bro. I had nothing to do with what went down in New York. It's cowardice for you to even think about bringing my name up in a situation I was totally caught off guard with. You know what I'm saying? Just because you explaining to your freaking audience that you've been demonetized now and you ain't gonna freaking, you know, request it no more because you make money. And then, okay, bro, Malachi, okay, if you got all the money in the world, what I always say, bro, be happy with it. Don't try to convince these people on the YTC. They're not helping you earn money. You say you'll hustle and you'll get money. regardless. That's what you always do. But why is it such a part of you to convince the people that are tuning in and supporting your channel that you're getting money? They didn't have anything to do with you being demonetized. I didn't have anything to do with that. Nor will I sit back and listen to you bring me into a situation that makes no sense. It's irrelevant for you to bring me into this situation, which I had nothing to do. I didn't even know you was demonetized. Until somebody dropped me a link and say, hey, he's over there talking, he got demonetized, and he been talking this, that, and the other. I was like, okay, I'll check it out. But it's out of place, man. I wasn't in New York. I wasn't on here making videos about, whatever happened with what they were saying. I didn't do none of that. That was your entire situation. You came back, you said all that stuff. You trying to act like I was in cahoots with something. Bro, that sounds crazy. But I'm speaking on it, and that's the way it is. That's how I feel. I thought it was BS for you to bring me into this because I didn't even know anything else was going on with that. But you should just, really focus on whatever reason it was with them. Whoever submitted a complaint with you, focus on them, because you can't blame Scotty for that. Scotty ain't been watching you. Scotty ain't been paying you no attention. None of that. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk about you ain't talked to the nigga since. That proves my point. So if you telling your audience you ain't talked to the nigga since, why are you bringing me up now? You tell the people, oh, his channel is monetized again. I ain't talked to the nigga since. Okay, bro. Why did you bring me up now if you ain't talked to me? I haven't been in your chat. I haven't dropped you no DMs, and you told your audience you ain't talked to me. So if you haven't talked to me, man, why are you bringing me up now? What does it got to do with? You was just over there, in the gym over there in Omaha with one of the greats. That's not enough for you? You're not happy? Come on. Am I lying, people? Like, you're not happy? You should be happy, man. If that's your fam, you should be happy. What does it have to do with me, though? One thing I could care less about is if someone's talking behind my back, and that person that is hearing that one individual talk about me, if they haven't spoke to me about it, then that person's a lame too. If they want to take some type of action or feel some type of way about someone talking about me, but yet haven't spoken to me about what they just heard, that person is a lame to me. It's nothing I can do about what I don't know about. I can't do anything about that. I don't have no freaking signal that buzz me and say, hey, so-and-so talking about you. If you got what you have, be happy with what you got. If you making money, I don't care about another man's money. Make that money. But don't be up here talking about, oh, I'm not requesting to be monetized again. I got money anyway. Okay, be happy. You seem like you unhappy, bro. I don't have anything to do with the money that you're making. I'm encouraging you to continue to make as much money as possible because that's your fam and that's your future. But don't come over here thinking I'm practice. You understand? Don't speak on me like I'm practice. Don't speak on me like I'm practice. You said you haven't spoke to the nigga since. So therefore, don't speak on me like I'm practice. There's no need for you to be talking about me about an entirely different situation that may have been with those guys that you was mentioning every day that you was online. That has to do with them. What does that got to do with me? I'm not your practice, bro. You're not gonna trick me out my bag and play those games. It's nothing like, if you covering this sport of boxing, don't do it for anybody that you think that, hey, I want to take a shot at that person. What somebody definitely know, you can't take any shots with me. That's gonna make me feel some type of way about covering fighters. I've been there, done that. I mean, too many times over. I'm good. You know, I feel good about, you know, communicating with the genuine listeners. I'd rather rock out with them. I'm good. Because one thing I know about them, they don't speak about money all the time. You know what I'm saying? They end up here speaking about freaking money all the time. We're not up here treating each other with a different status quo depending on what we think the annual income is of that person. I think it's entirely weak to basically base your respect level off another grown adult that has family and has had a career and all that based off annual income, which a lot of people don't know what somebody's annual income is, and it's none of their business. But you know, obviously money can't make you happy, because when I hear people talk about, you know, how much money and all that, they always saying it in a way that it's not making them happy. Be happy. You're blessed. You're making money more than the average. Be blessed. I have no criticism for you. Make your freaking money, but don't practice on me with your criticism when it comes to this social media when I'm not paying you any attention. Don't try to hold me accountable for something I can't account for. I can't account for what happened to your channel. I ain't know shit about it till somebody dropped me a link. So to bring me up and to take a shot at me, just to say, oh, I don't sit up here and report people's channel. Like this other guy, he lied on me and this, that, and the other, and I called him up, but he couldn't tell me, he couldn't prove it. I haven't talked to the nigga since. Why are you bringing me up though? If you feel the way you feel, just let it go. We're not gonna have no fake beef, bro. All I'm saying is, don't practice. Don't try to practice with me. That's all. Hey, shout out to Christopher White in the building, man, with the $2 super chat lighting up the tree of life for WCS. Salute to you, brother. Always supporting the channel. Much appreciated. One love to you. But yes, it's good information, real talk. You know what I'm saying? To know that Shakur is getting the Williams to pay the fight. Good information to hear, you know, Crawford in an interview leading up to his next fight. You know what I'm saying? Marjamov is a legitimate champion. You know what I'm saying? Yes, he has less experience than Crawford, but he's a legitimate champion, decorated amateur. It's going to be a good fight. It's going to be competitive. We're looking forward to that. You know what I'm saying? We're looking forward to it. Seriously. We're looking forward to it. Then we have the schedule coming up. You know, Jake Paul, Mike Perry, not getting into that too much. But July 19th, which is on the horizon, we have Alexis Rocha returning versus Santiago Dominguez, 12-round welterweights in California. That's via the Zone. July 20th, Tokyo, ESPN Plus. You have Junto Nakatani versus Vincent Astrolabio, 12 rounds for Nakatani's WBC bantamweight title. And we can't forget about Joe Joyce versus Derek Chisora, July 27th, London. You know what I'm saying? Joe Joyce versus Derek Chisora, dog. Derek Chisora is still in the ring, boy. And then, you know, Carissa Shields, July 27th. She's stepping up to heavyweight. You know, is LePage, Joannese versus Carissa Shields. 10 rounds for Joannese WBC heavyweight title. So Carissa's fighting for her 4th division title. Salute to her. Of course, August 3rd, we have a stacked card. We have Andy Cruz versus Antonio Moran, 10 rounds. We also have Jared Anderson versus Martin Bacoli, 10 rounds. David Morrell versus and I was basically running his name back Kaladiz, for the WBA vacant regular title. Then you have Isaac Pitbull Cruz versus Jose Valenzuela, 12 rounds for Cruz WBA junior welterweight title. That's gonna be a heck of a fight. You know what I'm saying? Andy Ruiz versus Jarrell Miller, 10-round heavyweight. I think that's gonna be a better fight than people think, because Jarrell has gotten in better shape than he did against Daniel Dubois. You know what I'm saying? And of course, the main event, Israel Madrimov versus Terence Crawford for 12 rounds for Madrimov's WBA Super Junior middleweight title. That's gonna be a heck of a card. Heck of a card. But shout out to everyone who pulled up, dropped in. You know what I'm saying? I can't tell people what to do in the chat, when they talk about bets and stuff like that. But hey, you gotta be careful about placing bets, man. Not everybody's gonna pay up. But it's a distraction to talk about a bet in the chat. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I did drop a comment over there in ETB's chat because he vouched for the dude. That's it. So don't say I'm being contradicting. Dude owe me $1,000. You owe me $1,000. You know what I'm saying? A1 Hoop Zone. You know what it is. But the reality of talking about a bet in the chat back and forth, hey man, when you make a bet with somebody, get their IG and get their social media so you can hit them on social media or something, man. Because when you don't get paid, man, it becomes a disruption. Somebody didn't get paid. It's hilarious, man. But shout out to Christopher White for the donation. Much appreciated, brother. Until next time, man, y'all hold it down. Peace. I'm out.